is a topic that I haven't really talked about on my channel. It has a direct link to mental health, I think even anxiety and fear. And I thought, there's not a lot of people in my life that I know that have gone through this particular situation, and you have. And I think it's like, I feel like in a way it's kind of like your superpower. I do.
I do too.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I just want to thank you, first of all, for being open about this, because I know it's a very personal thing and it's not something that, a lot of people have experienced. But so the topic, to get down to it, is grieving and grief, and more specifically, losing someone unexpectedly, suddenly. This topic is something that I really want to speak with you about, because I think you might have, maybe you won't have, everybody has different experiences, but I think your story can really help people understand, so have perspective on what it means on losing somebody, especially somebody unexpectedly. So let's just jump right into it, shall we? Do you want to share what you experienced?
Yes, so I lost my dad when I was 13 years old. He was a pilot and he died in an airplane crash in Colombia. So it was, I think that there's nothing more personal than the grief, because everybody deals with it in a different way. And for me personally, it took me like 10 years, like 10 years to say, okay, I think I just stopped suffering, and I will be able to continue and move on from this.
Literally.
So yeah, and I feel there's nothing more personal than grief, because every person deals with it the way it works for each person. Like, to be honest, for example, for my mom, she couldn't listen to any music. It was like super hard to her. But for me, I was not able to see any pictures, to look at any pictures, because it hurt me a lot. Mm-hmm. So and in my personal experience, talking about grief and losing my dad, such as like in a young age, it was really hard, but at the same time, it gave me the strength to continue growing in my life. And I really feel that I don't know, sometimes I think that I'm a really, like, I don't know, I think that this is very, you're going to find this funny, or probably I'm not like any, like, probably egocentric or something like that, but I really feel like this has gave me a lot of emotional intelligence. And I have learned so much on how to deal with stuff, because the pain that I went through when I lost my dad, it was so heavy that I don't feel sad, or I don't feel like really bad, or I don't make like a huge deal of things, like out of any like small thing, because I know that I have get over things, or get over things even that have hurt so much to me. So
I wonder if it's like, because there's nothing more painful than losing someone. So
exactly.
You like literally at a young age, you literally had to like go through the heaviest of heavies, like you said.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that now it's like you have perspective, so that when things happen, realize like how, not that things are insignificant or anything like that, but like that you have like such great perspective that you're able to like work through things
exactly
in a emotionally intelligent way.
Exactly. And don't get me wrong, of course, like I cry, I feel bad, I feel sad, I feel angry, like
yeah, you feel all the emotions.
Yeah, like
but
all
maybe
emotions.
They just don't go. You don't think they ever get to like a more intense way.
The only thing that I must say, and this, I think that this applies to everybody that has lost someone. It's that like the trauma that comes with loss. So, for example, like I'm an only child. I only have my mom right now, and every time that I think about like when she's like at the moment that she's going like to die, because like that's the reality. We're like today we're alive and tomorrow we don't know. So, and that's going to happen at some point. That kicks me really hard, to be honest. And I think that that's the trauma that I have after losing my dad, like in such a young age, and at the same time when I like the way it was, because I think that of course there are different ways of living this world, but I really feel like what I went through when my dad passed away was like really traumatic. So so I think that, and I love airplanes, like I love to be on one, but I hate when my mom is on a plane without me. Don't ask me why. It's so weird, because
when she's on a plane with you or without you?
Without me.
Oh, without you. Okay.
When I'm with her, I'm okay. Like if I could do something, right? But but I don't know. It's more like something in my brain, like my heart. Like when I'm with her, I feel like she's safe because she's with me. So I will be able to do anything for her. But yeah, I think that's
the trauma. This trauma that you talk about like how it's now connected to the way you feel about when she's on a plane and you're not there. Like, is that something that you have kind of just like, is it like you've accepted that that's just part of your experience and how it's going to be for you? Like, how does that make you feel knowing that you have that?
So actually, I've been working on that, because I really feel that you can't live your whole life with that fear. You know, like it's going to happen at some point. Hopefully, I can be with my mom when it's like when she's about to leave this world. And it's not in a tragic way. I think that that's the thing that I'm most afraid of, to be honest. But at the same time, it's like I try to be distracted when she's like traveling or trying to be like more like doing something, because of course if not, I will be looking at this flight radar or any of those apps, like trying to look like for anything that what could go wrong. And yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to work on that, but I'm still working on that. Yeah, I'm still working on that.
I think that's part of it, is like we're always working on ourselves and always working to do better and be better to ourselves, for ourselves, right? I was telling Elissa that I lost a friend suddenly when I was 16, and it was a sudden thing. I saw her that day, and later that day she was hit by a car and she passed away. And the trauma that I have now, my trauma from that is like several things. It's like, for you it's planes, for me it's cars. So like whenever I see people like running, or like when I'm driving near that area, like I get very paranoid. I get like very like, you know, get intense.
Yeah.
But I did have a friend recently tell me last year, like maybe instead of like channeling that fear, and being like, okay, Rebecca, her name was Rebecca, saying like, hey, Rebecca, like, whenever I'm in the car, like, be my guardian angel, like, be my, you know what I mean? Like, trying to turn it on its head and be like, hey, like, I get really anxious, like, can you be my, you know, guardian angel when I'm ever driving and I'm feeling this sort of anxiety or whatever. And I've actually put that into practice, and it's really helped me kind of like just change the way of thinking about that. But I feel like another way that's channeled its way is like this idea of like the anxiety and fear, and usually it's like gonna fall, no? Okay. is this idea of like you can't be in control of everything. And I think you and I talked about how I think when it comes to death at the end of the day, I don't think any human being is ever really truly prepared to lose anyone.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But isn't there, I don't know, I find some weird, I don't know if that's like sadistic, but like comfort in knowing I'm like, you know what? Like it's like I can prepare for this test as much as I can, but I'm never gonna get it. I'm never gonna ace it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like grief is that way. It's like you're never gonna ace grief because it's like it's personal. You don't know how it's gonna be, and you just kind of have to let it flow, let it like experience it. And I don't know what comes to mind.
And I think that probably I totally agree with you, but at the same time, I really feel that we were I don't know, probably raised or like by people, or like I'm not blaming my dad or my mom
society.
or anyone, like society,
yeah,
most of it, because we are not raised with this thing that it's inevitable, that it's going to happen. Like
right.
Once we are born,
yeah,
like the only thing that it's sure that will happen is that we will die at some point. And we feel like if you think about Buddhism, they live their lives and they enjoy it and they live every day if it was their last. But when they die, it's like more like a celebration of what their life was, instead of being sad. And because you're not only what you're seeing right now, you know. I'm way more much than only a body in this world. So we are energy, and energy doesn't die, just transforms. So it's more, and I really think that that's why you have been feeling very connected, I must say, like with Rebecca, because you are saying that you're channeling your your anxiety or whatever you're feeling, but asking her to be your guardian angel or your guide or whatever. And I really feel like that works, because I'm living proof that that happens, because I have put, like, believe me, I have talked so many times to my dad, and I started doing that like a couple of years ago, because I heard that when you talk to them, they're still with you, but they're not in person. It doesn't matter, but they're energy and they're with you. And I'm pretty sure that if you continue doing that, you will connect with Rebecca in a different way, and probably you will be able to close this, like to give it some closure to your grief, because probably you had been like denying it or trying to deal, and just it hurts when you focus on the bad things of what you didn't do, or what was left off, or what you said or what you didn't say. It doesn't matter anymore. But at the same time, if they can hear you, because I believe in that, I really believe that my dad is with me. I just talk to him, I just pray, and I just ask him to help me with whatever it is, and I'm pretty sure that he's with me. I can feel him. So I think that that's the best way to deal with it, to continue believing that at some point we'll meet again.